Decorating Pages is a podcast dedicated to taking you behind the scenes of the designs of your favorite TV shows and films. Each episode, I'll be sharing design stories from some of Hollywood's most famous sets. Interviews from set decorators, production designers, directors, and actors about creating the look of TV and film, about their design inspirations, and stories that take sets from page to screen. Hello, and welcome to Decorating Pages. I'm your host, Kim Wanup. How's it going? Well, I'm getting closer to shooting. We're starting up our meetings. We're doing Zoom meetings. I think we're virtually scouting, which makes no sense for set tech and or our department. I don't know how they're going to do that. They really haven't told me, although I'm scouting next week. So I don't know if it's a virtual or if we get to go in our little pods. I don't know. They haven't told me. I do know we're starting out on location, so that's fun. Still complaining about shipping, everything, people. I'm not even kidding. So many things are delayed and canceled, and it's just, they're not even, but, you know, everybody's staying safe, I hope, and well. I think working is going to be fine, people. If you're out there and you're a little scared to go to work, it's fine. You're basically around everyone being tested every week, so it's kind of the safest place. I'm not kidding. And then I feel like it's a good measurement because then, I have my little bubble with my family and like 2 friends. Then I know if I've been around them that week, then we're all safe again because I'm getting tested. So, yeah, work is good. It's good to be working, I gotta say. What's Wanup watching this week? I started watching Raised by Wolves because my husband wanted to watch it, and I'm not in, but we keep watching it. I'm not in. It's sci-fi. I can do sci-fi. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but this isn't fun. I don't know. Watching this woman in this latex suit who's like so thin and ridiculous just makes me like body shame myself the whole time. The sets are pretty cool. And I can't tell if they use that Mandalorian type of new way of shooting, which we talk about a lot on this podcast. And so the sets are cool. It's like, a different world, and they had to build this all, I'm sure. And yeah. Other than that, I started Ratched, which is beautifully done by production designer Judy Becker, but I can't do it. I don't want to watch gory, gruesome shit. I don't want to watch blood and amputations and eye picks going into eye sockets, or ice picks going into eye sockets. I can't do it. I don't know what state of the world we're in that's really popular. I don't know. I think it's a really missed kind of opportunity because I really would have liked to have had a serious series or film about Nurse Ratched. I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea anymore. I feel like I liked the first American Horror Story. Second one, yeah. And then third one, okay. And then I was out by Coven, I think. It's just too much. It's like, look, ever since I had babies, I can't watch anything with any sort of child getting hurt or killed or anything. I just can't do it. It might just be the time of my life, but it's beautiful. This mental hospital makes you want to go mental. It's gorgeous. So the color is so vibrant, and the period dressing by Matthew Flood Ferguson, gorgeous. So if you take a look at it, at least, check out that design of it. The only other thing I started was The Vow on HBO Max. It's really good about Essex. Essex is like a cult. I don't know how people get into these cults. It's fascinating. It's crazy. So I'm on episode 4 of that. That's pretty good. If you're into documentaries like I am, that's a good one. On this episode, I'm joined by production designer James Pearse Connelly, and we discuss the nominated designs and winners of the 2020 Emmys for production design, which were held last week over 5 nights. There are 5 categories, 2 dedicated to variety, that are competition and live events, and then there are 3 categories that are scripted. 1 hour contemporary, 1 hour period and fantasy, and half hour. If you have listened to James and I recap before, you know that we kind of don't hold back and we like to drink. I'm super glad that he was up for this and emailed me to do it. So, we just started to discuss these nominated people, and we emailed each other a couple days before the Emmys of not who we voted for, but who we thought was going to win. So it's different. It's also different because in production design categories, you can vote for one or more of the people nominated, which is nice because it's hard. Sometimes it's, this against that, and you're like, how do I compare these two? I think that they're both worthy. So I and if you're nominated, you always think like, oh shit, they didn't call my name. Maybe it's a tie. And you still hold out hope till, the presenter walks off the stage. This podcast, we're very opinionated when we talk about all of these nominated shows. We were mostly wrong in our picks, which just goes to show you never know. Even as like people who work in there have been on, he's on the Emmy committee right now. You never know. James did win a Daytime Emmy in June for his work on the Kelly Clarkson talk show. So cheers to him. He's currently designing the show The Masked Singer. And so we're going to talk about designing during COVID with all of these live shows and live audiences, and how do you redesign for that. So I hope you enjoy. August 13th.
Oh my God.
Yeah. How about you? Did you get any time off? No.
Not a day.
Not a day?
We worked right through.
Oh my God.
It was bananas. Honestly, I kept saying, like, when things come back online, people are going to be so ready to work, and we're so fucking exhausted. It was like standing in front of a fire hose, to be honest with you. Like, I panicked. There was definitely like a huge dip in terms of like things,
right.
But people were they just needed design solutions from every angle.
Yeah.
So there were non-stop calls all the time.
Is it hard to take one of your shows and redesign it? Like, I'm sure you're in love with the design of it, and or like, I don't want to change this formula I got going on here.
I mean, I do love the chance to change because it sort of keeps me employed, and like, and I like keeping it fresh, but everybody needed to change the judge's desk. Everyone needed to do 6 feet apart,
right?
Stuff. And so it was, I mean, every recurring series we have, like Top Chef and Nailed It and Masked Singer and Voice, all at the same time. Hey, we're going to launch in July or August or November. What do we do for 6 feet of distance? Because 6 feet of distance basically means fill it with stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, and it's all art department all the time. And so it was really heavy, even though like every art director and set decorator was off for about a good 3 months. We were just friggin' designing.
Because plexiglass can only go so far as to being like cool to look at. Like,
we never. Have you used any plexi? We haven't used a single bit of plexi. No barriers.
But we're not shooting yet. We don't shoot for another like 3 weeks. So I don't know what they're gonna do. There's like a hot zone and nobody's allowed in it and whatever. But so I don't know if they're going the plexi route. But
we had there's a plexi barriers between cameramen for some shows, just to separate them a little bit when they're stacked up to get like singles on people. But other than that, actually, to be honest with you, the most surprising and disappointing thing to me was nobody wanted to acknowledge it. And I kept saying to producers, like, more than ever, I want to watch television that addresses COVID and doesn't just, like, ignore it. Can we just mention this, please? Because I'm sick and tired of watching shows that aren't talking about it, and I'm dying for when the housewives actually talk about COVID.
I mean, I'm sick of watching Zoom, like, shows. That's over. That was like a one-trick pony once, and then we're good. We get it. But not to acknowledge it, I mean, there has to be some sort of joke, even, like, on The Masked Singer, of, like, get away from me, or, like, there's got to be some sort of joke about it.
They didn't want to play up any of that stuff. People were faking audience. It felt like the Emmys last night a little bit for a lot of shows, like, where, like, you were a little confused for the first 5 minutes.
I don't think they should have done that. I don't think they should have faked it at all in the beginning.
They took the joke too long. It was way too long.
It was way too long, and I thought, it
was awkward.
Like, people who are watching this, but basically hardly anyone watched it.
Well, did you like the show? Well, we could probably talk about this on the podcast.
Oh, wait, no. I mean, yeah, I liked it. I mean, I always like it because it's our industry and we're celebrating, like...
Yeah.
We're kind of celebrating it. I mean, then you just start to get into, like, the ridiculousness of it all, and then you're like, I'm an asshole for liking this. But I do like it. I don't know if I've ever missed it. It's like the Oscars. I maybe missed it once my whole life, and I was on my honeymoon. Like, I don't know.
Right. And you're right. You have to watch these things. And then, so, even this year, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to watch it and deal. And I'm like, let this one go by. I'm just going to be too critical about it. And you watch it, and you're like, no, it's really good to see. Like, you are a part of the industry. You know a lot of these characters.
Yeah, we're appreciating each other's work. I think that once they got over that long joke of, oh, I'm alone, and then he went into that, like, surround room, I thought that was clever, and, like, showing everybody on their screens, and I thought it was good. I mean,
I'm surprised nobody watched it, actually.
I know. I thought just for the curiosity of it, people would be more interested of, like, what are they going to do?
I mean, it's a live event. It's current. Why didn't anybody watch that?
And I think it sped it up a lot. If they if they trimmed out, like, all the lessons they had to teach everyone, if they could trim out that, then just get an award show going. Then I kind of think it's the way to go. Like, everyone should have their room, like Schitt's Creek, and then every show has their room, and then they get up and do their speech, and then you're done. I mean, how quick was that? It was kind of nice.
I kind of loved seeing how Schitt's Creek appreciated, like, having that big room. I sort of love that, but you're right. Too many Kia integrations.
Yeah.
Too many life lessons. I didn't need to see Bobby Sue in Kansas give us an award for whatever.
It was nice, I don't really care. But not like... every award doesn't have to be given by... It was overdone in that sense. And I was listening to Howard Stern, of course, this morning, and Robin Quivers had a point. You know, I stopped watching it when I kept being taught a lesson I already know. Yeah. It's like, the people... I mean, if you need that lesson, you're probably not watching the Emmys.
I felt like the Emmys didn't need to take me to church at all.
No.
I kind of want to watch it for the lifestyle of the rich and famous.
Yeah, let's forget about shit and, like, watch Jennifer Aniston. What's she going to wear? Like... Exactly.
Like, the sort of, like, Black Lives Matter lessons were just kind of like, oh my God.
Yeah, and
hating each other. Like, they were like, this casting director said this to me. And, like...
I know.
Save it for People Magazine. I don't want to hear that.
And then you're like, well, man, nobody asked me about my story. I could have submitted or...
I know. Now, did you watch the Creative Arts Emmys?
No. I couldn't find... First of all, I couldn't fucking find the list of winners. Was like every day looking for a list of winners was so hard to find. I don't know if I'm...
Remind me who... I was going to pull up a cheat sheet here while we talk because I actually have no idea.
Well, I mean, I know who won, like, in production design, but, like, I skimmed through the other awards and everything, but I don't, I found it very hard to, I read a review of it the first night of Variety, and I think they were very down on it, saying, like, it was a very big missed opportunity, especially for creative people. So that's always like we get that kick, like, oh, it could have been cooler. But as you know, there's so many rules and so many restrictions within the Academy that you just can't have a free-for-all just because we want to do it.
No, it's true. And they separated it over like 5 nights?
5 nights.
And it's expensive. But it's just so heartbreaking to know that people who got nominated for the first time
I know.
just had a total shit experience. I heard, I didn't actually attend, and that's a note for me. I heard that the cocktail reception was awful.
They had like 5 people.
Yeah.
Which...
They had nothing to talk about, and like Helena had to jump off and go to a PTA meeting. Like, it was just so bad.
Ooh.
Yeah. Heidi, like, she was like, it was totally bad. And I feel like we could have been creative about that. We could have done something.
Well, it should have been recorded.
Homes.
It should have been recorded like they did with these some of the messages. Well, I heard that one of the problems with the recorded messages was that if there was multiple wins by someone, they just repeated the thank you, which is like, that was a bummer. I guess for Watchmen, it was like the same person kept giving the same speech or something like that. Don't quote me, but I heard it was something like that. But I think for us, it could have been, okay, you get, 2-3 minutes. Because 30 seconds is not enough, and it's ridiculous. We don't have a timer on this. There's only 5 categories for us. Get 2 to 3 minutes. Say what you need to do, everybody. And then, like, it should have been recorded so that we could fast forward.
Yeah.
And so it's all online, and then you could fast forward and be like, oh, yeah, they did thank me. Or, oh, she forgot about me. Or...
That's a really smart idea, actually. You should have been able to fast forward it.
Or and watch it in that sense, like it's online now. Like watch everybody do their thank yous now, or the nominees do their thank yous. I don't know. That's just my thoughts of like how to make it better. I don't know how to make it better, really.
Yeah.
Maybe after another glass of wine.
Maybe. Well, we'll get there. I feel like after last night, there was also a missed opportunity to be creative. The writing was bad last night. I didn't mind it. I mean, like, the design was small, intimate, live. I feel like the screen content was a little boring, but, like, the writing was bad.
Yeah,
It wasn't even funny.
No, I think the funniest line was his last line of the night, which was, like, the Zoom party, and then he gave out the number. Like, that was, like... I thought that was clever. And then I'm like, I wish I'd wrote that down and seen if it worked, but... Yeah, I mean, I wonder what the Oscars are going to do and how they're going to learn from this, or not.
They have till April. Right?
Yeah.
And what's going to be nominated?
I know.
Nothing's in the theater.
Nothing's out. Well, they let up that rule. It doesn't have to be a theatrical release this year. But bless you. But they did set some pretty strict rules about being nominated for Best Picture now. You gotta be like...
be black, basically.
You gotta be black, blind, and it's gotta be like a...
LGBTQ also,
a great story. Yeah, maybe black, blind, gay, and then like a Rocky story. like you bettered yourself or something. Or you could be Asian and it's just make a good movie.
What is going on?
Just make a good movie.
Just make a fucking movie. Why is everybody trying to be right?
And by the way, who's making those movies? Best Picture last year was Parasite, right? I mean, that wasn't...
Can we actually appreciate ourselves for actually being diverse and not try to hate on ourselves?
It's too much. The Academy doesn't
We're
need
never
to...
good enough.
No, the Academy doesn't need to police the creativity of people.
It's so reactionary to me. It's like, just take a breath. Let the people speak and let America feel. We don't need to put this on the Oscars. This is insane.
No. I think it's just that thing of like, well, we've got all these people watching, or we've got this platform, like, let's use it for good, but And it's not just this coming year. It's the last couple. It's so drilled in. It takes away.
Alienates.
Yeah. It alienates. It's exactly the politics of this country. It alienates, and then they hate us.
And we're holier than thou about it.
I know.
It's like never good enough.
I know. I don't know. I don't know how to fix these things, but I'm also not hired to do it. If I was hired to do it, I'm sure that I could find someone or I could think of something to try to make these broadcasts more interesting and I don't know.
It really is sort of cutting through a lot of crappy producers.
Yeah. But you gotta speed it up. Mm-hmm. It's so boring. Even for someone who loves it, it's so boring. Like even last night, you're like, oh, hour and a half in, I'm only done comedy.
They sped through a lot of the nominee packages, I noticed. It was so fast, those packages, and it was really disappointing, where I kind of wanted to see the content a little bit more. I didn't want the Black Lives Matter movement. I actually didn't need to hear. There's a lot of the Kia commercial.
But you say that, and I agree with you, but that's one of the things, like, if you don't know what Schitt's Creek is, this 12 seconds that we're going to show you isn't going to justify why they win. So just put up Schitt's Creek and, like, play it in the background for, like, 3-4 seconds. Like, I think that's a time suck.
I was really happy they won.
Oh, me too. They only won because they're on Netflix. No one was watching Pop.
That's what Wally said, too. He was like, the only reason why they are popular is because we put them on Netflix. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
I watched the whole series on my maternity leave. So I think it was like 4 seasons that I watched through like a week or something. And it was such a relief to like be like, I gotta watch the next episode. Like, should I sleep or should I watch an episode? Like, so.
And they're not coming back next year, and so it was a nice farewell. We get this one avalanche of them winning. I love.
Yeah, I'm sad for Good Place, but Schitt's Creek's really funny. So I don't know. I wish Good Place could have won something, but it was a good show. So that's it.
Good Place. It gets really great remarks, though, all the time. People talk about that show all the time.
I think because it was the final year, I thought maybe it would take it, but, you never know. You never know. As with our picks, you never know.
I literally forget what I sent you.
I have it all down.
You do?
I'm just going to tell you, you were 1 for 5. I was 2 for 5. It wasn't any better. I'm
dying to talk about it.
I know. I should say that we gave each other our picks as who we thought would win.
Yes.
Not who we voted for.
Correct.
Because these categories are area awards, and you can vote for one or more program if you feel the need.
That's true. Yes, that's true.
So when you started talking to me about this, I was like, ooh.
I'm ready to dig in.
I don't know if I'm going to make any friends if I go for it.
I'm tired of not making friends.
I know, but I know.
But I know.
The thing is, because we've both won, it's awesome to win.
Yeah.
And you want people to win. It's also awesome to be nominated till you lose.
Yes. and I feel like it's easy to win your first one. It's a little harder to win your second one. It's near impossible after that, unless you're on some sort of like mega show like Saturday Night Live. I just don't see. It's
very hard. It's very hard to win for the same show, which is why I didn't pick The Crown.
Yes.
Because they already won. And I thought it's really hard to repeat unless you're Game of Thrones in this.
Did they win? I don't know who won in the narrative categories.
You're such a snob.
I know. Right over my head. I'm
You're such a snob. Okay. Well, let's go. Well, we'll do yours first. How about that? We'll go through yours first. The category that you are usually nominated in is variety competition. What else? What's it?
Variety, reality, or competition series. And so I'm going to go ahead and blanket to everyone listening, like, that I normally am in. This sounds incredibly gauche and hard, and privileged enough to have been in this category.
And sometimes you compete against yourself.
Twice this has happened, yes.
Yes. Is it also, and it's also true that the shows that were nominated for Best Show of this category, you designed all of them.
For the shows that were on the prime time show, the category that is, what's the category? Like Best Competition Series?
Right.
The sort of like Amazing Race voice category. I designed 4 of the 5 nominees this year. But not the winner. Not the winner. It must be something about me. Didn't do that at all, which is sad. But maybe that's also what we're about to get into here. I've been nominated in this category so many times. 12 times?
Oh, my God.
And, I only won once in this category.
But, again, because we got cut off before, congratulations on your Emmy win. You did win this year. For the Kelly Clarkson show, the Daytime Emmy. So congratulations. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Clinks.
Love it. Yeah, that was amazing. Awesome. And because of COVID, and we were talking about just a little bit earlier, I found out driving home from work and celebrated eating chips and guac. And my mother called me. That was the extent of the glamour. Yes.
There you go. Maybe that's ridiculous. How it should be, James. Maybe we all need to be taken down a notch. And
I saved a lot of money. It wasn't
I know.
Like your
I know.
$2,000 evening.
Yeah.
You know.
With hair, makeup, dress, transportation, tickets, if you have to buy extra tickets. Because you only get 2 tickets if you're nominated. If you're buying for your crew, like, it's a lot.
This is going to sound disgusting. I had been to the Emmys, like I think 8, 9, 10 years in a row. This was a bit of a wake-up call.
But that's it's still amazing that you had that run. How many people can say that?
I mean, and now I really appreciate it. Now I'm this spoiled little pig.
And now I'm going to design everything. What was that show you said last time? Like, shit on a stick or something? You were going to...
Probably.
Now you're just designing everything just to get a nom.
I don't believe in, like, for a while, actually, Kim, I was like, I need another trophy. And this year, not this year, actually, I'm in a part of my life where I'm like, I'm just happy to work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy to just take on
and your work
whatever
is good.
I can.
Your work is good, and it shows, and you work constantly. It's not like you're starving.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Keeps me off the streets, keeps me busy. I really sort of enjoy adding value and challenging myself. It's really not about a trophy, to be honest with you. I feel like that is for your first time. Like, the second time and third time should be about, like, really just giving each show excellence and the hardest work you possibly can.
Yeah. I absolutely believe that. I think once you win, it is different. But I also feel like I want to win again so I know it wasn't a fluke.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. Like, that's why.
No,
so it's more valid or something. Like, that it wasn't just...
My first trophy was as an art director. And so I just wanted to win as a production designer.
Right. And cheers, you did.
Yeah.
All right, so your category.
So, this category, variety, reality, or competition series, it's multi-camera television no matter which way you look at it. And the nominees were At Home with Amy Sedaris. Now, this show has been nominated before in this category. I don't know these folks. John Singleton, Katie Porter, Naomi Monroe.
I don't know them.
I don't know them. I'm not actually familiar with the show. I think I've seen just clips and some of the info, obviously, on the consideration pages.
Right.
The second show was Drunk History. They've been nominated before and have won.
They didn't win a Emmy, did they? They won an Art Directors Guild.
Yep, they won the Art Directors Guild Award.
Because I interviewed Monica.
Oh.
The production designer. And
wasn't she a coordinator before?
She was my coordinator. She was sort of my coordinator on Bones when I was there a long time ago. So there was a lot of like, you done good, kid. Like, you know, you moved up. Like, we all move up. Like, it's great. And she's, you know, she's got this. And I mean,
they're doing really incredible reenactments.
I actually started to get into the conversation with her of like, is it really scripted or not scripted? Like,
is this a single camera show?
Yeah, because I really wanted to hear it from her, and the way she described it, it is. It's basically the producer. They give the person like the story, and then the producer and the reenactor person just says it any way they want. It's not. So I was like, oh, all right.
I mean, it's a brilliant concept, and it's been on TV for a long time.
I can't believe how long it's been on.
They just canceled it. Oh.
They did? Yeah. Breaking news.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, they must have been on the air for 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's been 10 years. Well,
I mean, at the end of the day, that's amazing.
I think they were nominated before, but Monica was not the production designer. I think. I believe. But she did win the Art Directors Guild this past January.
She has 2 set decorators with her, which is also an anomaly we don't often see. How do you as a set decorator, what do you think that's all about?
Well, I think that they worked on separate sketches. Like, there was 2 sketches in that episode, so one decorator did one and one did the other. I believe that's how that rolled on this particular episode. I think Ray was her normal decorator, and then because it was such a huge episode for them, they had 2, I believe.
Sure.
But yeah.
Okay.
Next.
Also in this category, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Now, this episode in particular is a huge episode for them. And it was actually my choice. I ran it, and this is a personal story. I was doing a pilot in New York. I was at, 30 Rock? No, maybe CBS or something. And I bumped into this, veteran stagehand. I'm sitting on my iPad, in the zone, trying to get some drawing out or whatever. And this guy's just chatting me up. And he was telling me all about this incredible feat he and the team of John Oliver put together, this live musical production number. They designed these big steps. John stepping down the musical steps. They cut to the outside on the street, and he said, "Oh boy," in that thick New York accent, we really pulled it off. We really delivered. And the way he was describing it, it really was incredible for a weekend sort of
the amount of
raps show.
The time that they get to do shit. I've briefly spoken to that production designer to try to get him on the podcast, and it just seems like they work to the bone for the week, like trying to get it done, and it's quick. It's a quick turnaround for them. So yeah, I think that's a deserving nomination.
I do too. I mean, for probably what is a incredibly small team.
Yeah, I'm sure.
To deliver a live musical number like that, it had my vote. And, John Oliver is, and you saw it last night, he's a favorite. He wins a lot.
He wins a lot, and he's great. I love that show. I watch every episode. I love it. Now, you did just reveal who you voted for, by the way.
Oh, we weren't supposed to say that?
Well, did you vote for them, or that was your pick? You should say that was your pick.
That was my pick for us.
Yes.
I'm going to say I probably did vote for him.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to. I mean, we can and we cannot. We don't have to say if we voted for it.
For sure.
I mean, the Queer. I didn't vote for Queer Eye. No.
Queer Eye. Next nomination. Queer Eye. Thomas Rouse. Super nice guy. I actually know him. We're Instagram friends, but I didn't vote for it because Well, why didn't you vote for it, Kim?
Because I thought that, like we were saying with John Oliver, prep time and what it takes to get it done, like, I just felt other shows in the category were more worthy. I voted for SNL.
I feel like...
One of my votes was the winner of SNL, yeah. And I know that's a big thing in the little world of our committee.
Well, I mean,
but
SNL's the popular chick. I mean, she wins all the time. She's the homecoming queen. You can like her or hate her.
I've seen every episode since '87. I think it's hard to pull that off every week.
Yeah, it is.
I just do. I mean, I know that they probably have their system, as we all do, and we all get it done, and it's a lot, but I still think it's incredible, and I think over the years, it's gotten better. I don't, by any means, think it's the absolute best design, but I think for comedy that's live, I think it's good. Yeah. It's not like a 24-hour plays or something. It's better.
The volume of work they do, the magical shorthand that they have to deliver those sets, it really is of no comparison between that and Queer Eye, which Queer Eye is...
And that's hard.
Is a sweet show, but...
Yeah, I love it.
Really, when you look at it, too, and it's super popular and the characters are magnetic, but it's a makeover show with a lot of popularity on Netflix.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I mean,
absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know.
And what am I voting for that guy's design of the remake of shit? Like, no.
I know. What am I, the new bedspread?
Yeah,
what am I voting for?
Yeah, no, you cleaned it up? Like, listen, I just went on a rant last week about that show, the home edit. I can't even talk about it, but I can't do make...
Oh, yes, I just saw it. Yeah.
No.
It's really, really
bad.
Forced. Yeah.
I'm offended as a decorator. And
I didn't get through one episode.
Oh, you're lucky. I forced myself to watch it all because I could not believe... Look, more power to you. You wrote a book. You got a cool Instagram. You made some friends like Reese Witherspoon and Oprah Winfrey. I'm jealous. The bottom line is I'm jealous. But you are not a decorator. And all you're doing is organizing and clear bins from the Container Store, who's your sponsor. Like, what is this show? I don't get it.
Kim, you cannot be jealous of people going.
They're making millions of dollars. I'm at home in my two-bedroom apartment. Yeah, I'm jealous.
Are they making millions of dollars? Touching people's dirty socks? You're not. You're driving.
It's Reese Witherspoon
working with Ryan Murphy.
Listen, it's Reese Witherspoon's dirty socks and Khloe Kardashian. That's who they're touching. Not that I want to touch that. I don't want to touch it.
Then the rest of their life, it's with Bobby Sue from freaking Thousand Oaks and her dirty closet where they wrecked in 1990.
And they cheat. No. They totally cheat. They're like, oh, we gave you this section, we gave you this section over here to work out, we gave you this. No, you didn't. You didn't put half the shit back that they had. Where'd all their shit go? Where's the room with all their shit? No.
I know.
You taking all the granola bars out of the box and putting in a clear container, those people are never going to do that. We need a recap show in 6 months. We need a recap show. That's all I'm saying.
They also have, 7 assistants. I mean,
yes!
they're doing, 12
and they
shows
do
at a
everything.
Time. I have one assistant.
I can't wait for so-and-so to get here. Yeah, I bet so, because you ain't doing shit.
You rolled up at 11. You have 17 interns. I mean,
that's me and this production hire, Corey Lorenz, and we say, where are our bitches? We shouldn't be doing this. Where are they? And we're like, oh, we don't have any. It's just us.
They have them on home edit.
Yeah, they do. They got the whole crew on home edit. So anyway, what am I voting for? I'm not voting for, as you said, I'm not voting for the new bedspread of Queer Eye. I voted for, I voted for SNL and others. But I thought SNL would win. You thought John Oliver would win. SNL was the winner.
SNL was the winner. And you know what? Good for them.
Well,
deserving.
Yeah, but it is, as we're saying, probably their 25th win.
Yeah, he must
I
have
don't
a
even know.
collection. I can't imagine.
Where do you put them
And
all?
it wasn't too long ago that he had never won or never been nominated. It really wasn't until about 2009. SNL wasn't even really looked at for this category at all.
Oh, and that's
Isn't
when
that
they started
interesting?
submitting and making the play for
His first
domination.
Emmy, I won as an art director with him, Keith Raywood. I won with him his first Emmy
Oh,
in 2009. Yeah, and then after that, he snowballed, and I took a dive. But that's
okay. Okay, yeah, you took a real bomb. You took a real dive. Yeah. Okay, next. Outstanding production design for a variety special.
Variety special. Okay, the nominees were, I'll just rip through them real fast, and then you tell me what you put in, and I'll tell you what I put in, and I'll reveal. They were the Grammy Awards, the Golden Globe Awards, live in front of a studio audience, All in the Family, and Good Times, the Little Mermaid Live special, and then the Oscars. I mean, this is a tough, big, shiny, glamorous category. What did you vote for?
No. Who did I think would win?
Who did you think would win? Yeah, sorry. Voted for between us.
Yes.
We had an email submission.
Right.
Yeah.
Between us, who I thought would win was the Grammys.
Interesting. When I saw you email me that, I was like, oh wow. To me, it was a little bit forgettable, a little bit of the same every year. I went for live in front of a studio audience. I thought that was All in the Family and Good Times. I thought,
Nobody watched it.
Of course they'll win.
No, why would you
True.
put that? Nobody watched it. This is who we thought was going to win. The Grammys is like a lot of music people, like... I just thought the Grammys would take it. Nobody watches the Oscars anymore. Hardly anyone's watching Golden Globes. No one ever watches Golden Globes, really. But...
Nobody watched. I also thought Little Mermaid was going to also...
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Yeah.
I said that was a close second in my email.
It was fun.
You thought, it was good.
Yeah. You thought in front of a live audience, and then your close second was Mermaid.
That's right. I thought Mermaid was creative, big, splashy. I mean, it's ABC. Everybody watches that. I just felt like I sort of couldn't believe the Oscars won.
I couldn't believe the Oscars won either, to be honest. I didn't think that stage design was outstanding this year. I think some years it is. I definitely do.
I think some years it is too. Don't you remember the year when you saw those light bulbs all together for the first time?
A million of them. It sparked so much inspiration. Oh my God, yes.
It was then copied on the CMAs. It was on the Oscars 3 years in a row. People with the light bulbs. It was all over.
It was everywhere. Yeah.
Unforgettable.
Yeah.
The year with the giant globe. Oh, this must have been 10, 12 years ago. Giant globe over the proscenium. Also unforgettable.
But the one year with all the Swarovski crystals, that whole backdrop was just crystals. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
Even, this was a non-winner one, the Trump hair year was also unforgettable. 2 years ago, that giant
swirl. The swirl.
Unbelievable.
It encanvassed the whole stage. It was crazy.
I mean, it's an iconic show people look at to define what glamour was. And this year, for the first year,
I don't remember
it. Just sort of forgettable.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Sort of robotic, and I thought, I couldn't believe it. Nice guy. Jason Sherwood's a nice guy. I've met him, I think, once, twice.
Well, you've been up against him, I'm sure.
Last year. No, never.
Never? Oh, right. It's a different category. My bad.
I don't do a lot of specials. I do maybe one or two. And I've done a couple of award shows. I'd love to do more, but it's not usually my genre. I'm in the multicam competition, stuff. I don't want to speak ill will. Good for him.
But I think we're being honest. They've had plenty of years where the set was fantastic. I just didn't think that this was a year compared to what I saw at the Grammys. I thought the Grammys was going to win.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Yeah. I think the Golden Globes look pretty good this year, too, over the Oscars. Brian Stone Street designs it every single year. Yeah. And this year, he kind of reinvented a little bit of the look. was impressive. But you're right, like, not a lot of people watch it. It's got great brand recognition. It gets a nomination, but maybe not a lot of people thought it was that outstanding.
I don't know. I always love his podium design. I always look for that.
Yes.
The podium.
Brian is a master of taking the small space and adding layers and texture upon layers and texture upon layers and texture to get a rich shot. It is truly expert level work.
Yeah.
Yet get snubbed
that's why
almost every year.
That's why I thought the Grammys, he did them too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's your two variety categories.
Yes, neither of us won. You won.
No, I got them both.
One. Oh, you didn't get Grammys, honey.
Oh, no, that's right. I got SNL. Yeah. Right.
You got SNL. So you're 1 for
right.
2, I'm 0 for 2.
I'm going to go with Outstanding Production Design for a Narrative Contemporary Program, 1 hour or more.
Okay.
The nominees were Big Little Lies.
Season 1 or 2?
Season 2. I mean,
I didn't get through all of it.
Oh, I mean, I got through all of it, but what was the point of the show? Just to have Meryl on? I mean, I don't know. It was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah,
they do a nice job, but
I think the spectacularness of the sets was season 1.
Exactly.
There were still some great sets and some great character sets, and
do you know? Did they repeat them? Did they rebuild them?
I think 1 or 2 are locations, and then they rebuilt. Yeah, but obviously for whatever episode they did, where they had 2 nominated, they had the amount for sets. I think it's a beautiful show. I do. I think it's a beautiful show. Season 1.
Right.
But still,
do you think it was nominated just because? I mean, this is a really big category. I mean, there are a lot of submissions.
I mean, we could say that, yeah, there's probably 70, do you think? Probably around 70 submissions?
That's a safe approximate. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, to narrow it down of when people vote, I mean, to be one of these 5 is kind of amazing. You know?
You're right.
Killing Eve, I watched a snippet of this episode. I only watched the first season of Killing Eve, but then I watched some of this episode. What'd you think? Did you get to see this?
No, I am a Killing Eve fan. I loved season 1. I forget, we're on 3 seasons now, I think. Who knows? No idea. I have watched most of them. At the end of the day, we need to just kill Eve. Like, I'm tired of chasing Eve.
I'm tired of killing her. I want her dead.
Good God. Sandra stop looking confused and cuff the bitch.
I can't stand her. That's why I had to stop watching it. I can't stand her.
She's was great season 1. Again, I feel like this is also going back to what you had said about Big Little Lies. Probably better in its first season. From a production design standpoint, I have no idea why it's here. I have no clue. Yeah. It looks British to me. We're in a lot of different British locations, and when we're in sort of a built-out headquarters, from my eye, it's clearly a constructed set. There's no police headquarters that looks like that.
Yeah. It's hard in television when you have to do a hospital and you have to do a police station and you're trying to make it interesting and you're trying to make it not look like a set. A lot of times, because of lighting, it looks like a set. You gotta really, that's hand in hand there with lighting. I really think with hospitals and police stations, it's hard. And I feel if you're gonna do a police station, you better do NYPD Blue. You better make it gritty and gross and down and old and like it's 10, 20 years ago, because no police station looks like what we design and decorate.
They wind up looking like Starbucks. There's like all these weird factory windows in the middle of these institutions.
Cool. It's cool and it's great design.
It's cool for a baking show like what I do or the Oscars, but like it's not real. And this is exactly what Killing Eve does. It feels like television design. It doesn't feel like character driven. Like, it's okay to have a flat wall. Not every institution or space is thought from a DP perspective.
Yeah. It doesn't have to have a pilaster every 6 feet.
Right, every 6 feet, or some sort of strangely, like, there's a window in the middle of the office. Why is there a window? Oh, so they can shoot through it,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's why. That's exactly why. Ozark. I love Ozark. I think their big set this season was the Showboat Casino, or like
which was impressive.
Well, I was a casino dealer. So,
another podcast for another time.
Yes. I think it was impressive as it was like a set and you have to get all that shit and like, but as a working casino, I was like, this is dumb.
Oh,
you
really?
You got the people upstairs looking down at their cards. You could see their card. This doesn't work. Like
this set stands out to me because I actually love the show. I've seen every single episode. The last season, incredible ending. It was unbelievable. Yeah. You're right. When you talk about that last season, it's like really all about the casino. I mean, I'm sure there were other sets, but this. I mean, he was in that cartel thing. I actually don't know what episode this was. I just based it on the season in voting, but I think one of the things that stands out to me in the design of Ozark is that little trailer park that she lives in, or whatever. And, like, the old chairs outside, and, like, did you just happen upon this shit? Because this looks really real to me. Like, I was like, is this a location of somebody's shithole? Right.
That they are letting shoot there? Because I think it's really good in that sense of the downness. Like, when they went to that bar, and it was, like, when he owned the bar in the first season or some shit. That, to me, is, like, what I like in the design of the show. And I think second season was really good, too, in design. And
their home is really well done. It doesn't look like it's fake or it's set up for a DP to shoot.
Yeah.
There's that nice glass hallway. The kitchen is really nicely located. It's small yet
it's dark.
Yet homey. Yeah.
It's dark with all those windows. Sometimes when you're like, man, do they have any lights on in their thing? Like, I know. It's good. It looks real.
But it's okay. Sometimes real people don't turn on a lot of lights.
Yeah.
I do. I have so many switches, but like I'm sure you do.
Sitting in the dark now. You're seeing me by the light of the computer. Like, I don't know.
I know. Real people don't turn on a lot of lights.
Yeah.
You're right about this though. The casino, I remember thinking, this office feels fake. There's a window looking out onto the casino, and that should be a private space. Yeah. There shouldn't be. You're just trying to get depth here. This is fake. Well, and their office too, the same thing. All those glass partitions, and you're kind of like, did an architect design this office?
No,
it would never be here.
I think it's a very old school thing to have like a two-way mirror, or you know what I mean. That maybe they were going for that, but it's all digital now. It's all cameras. It's all everything. It was just, to me, that second floor looking down on gaming isn't a real thing in my experience, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I was like, And
do you think it's at season 3's? Do you think that production designers tend to lose a little bit of their voice compared to?
It was a new production designer.
Oh,
Derek
Hill
did
be good
season
and
2. Yeah, Derek Hill I know did season 2, and then this is David Bamba. Ooh, I love Bombas at Trader Joe's.
Do you know him?
No, I don't know. I believe this is done in Atlanta. So unfortunately, I don't know anyone of this, but I am sure it was hot when they were shooting, so I gotta give them all the credit in the world. You're shooting in Atlanta, or Shreveport, or wherever the hell you're doing this show. That the elements of that's a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Next, let's just move on. Secession. I love Secession. I love it. I love it. I love it.
When I was watching last night, the moment that theme song came up, I turned to Wall. I said, I can't wait for this to come back.
I can't wait. I keep wanting to make that my ringer.
And it took a second to get into it, but it's really good. Now, this is the episode in season 2 And I will say, when reviewing the submissions, there's not a lot here of the new scenery.
I don't know which one it was. I based it on the season.
This is the yacht episode.
Oh. It must have been the only thing that timed out for them.
Yes.
See that?
So,
you get a good timing. Sometimes the whole season carries you. I think that's a tell.
Yeah.
For a lot of voters.
This is like the Queer Eye factor, isn't it? Like, in terms of, like, great show, lovely to watch, cry. But is it scenery?
I think that's the bigger question about how we vote. I'm even admitting I vote on the season. I don't know the specific episode. If I've watched the season, I kind of don't go back and watch the specific episode. I'm just like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So that is, you're on your honor system when you vote.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great show, and they are telling a story.
Oh, it's a fantastic show. It's fantastic.
Some of that show, for me, is to watch kind of the richness and the sort of, like, the Hamptons house.
So great.
Just was unbelievable.
It's so great. That wedding.
Oh, that wedding. This is what...
Although my wedding kind of looked like
money is. You don't even get that on the Real Housewives.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's fake,
but fake. It to be.
This is old, good money, well spent money. So the decorating to me is like fantastic. Yeah. I love Succession. I really thought, I don't know.
You weren't going to catch that CB2 pillow in the background on this one.
No. Who? What is their budget? Like, what is their...
What do you think? That's got to be hard, though, because she does have to fit into a budget, but she can't do...
No, she doesn't. It's HBO. She doesn't.
Oh, really? Yeah, maybe. I have no idea.
I mean, I had a budget on Veep, but if the episode called for it, or if it shoots Thursday and they want it, like, it's that battle. It's just that battle, and I'm sure every show has it. But Succession's level of... richness and I just want to copy it. I just love it. I want to live there. I want to copy it.
Some of that show is really a visual into how rich billionaires live.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the appeal.
And the locations that they pick are phenomenal. Phenomenal locations, I think, too. I really think locations should really be an Emmy. I don't know how we judge that, or I really think location managers do a fucking hell of a job and really should be acknowledged. And I think prop masters too, but whatever, that's just me.
So production designers don't have a say in that stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
I do.
Oh, absolutely they do. But the location manager is seeing 20 things and narrowing it down to 6, and then the production designer is but a lot of location managers have input and they're bringing the choices in. They have a hand in it,
Who at the end of the day is making one of the more educated decisions on the story? Besides the director and the DP and all those people. In the art department.
Besides the art department, the director, and the DP?
No, out of the art department, out of the entire world of art department. Who's making, the more the more finite decision on based on the script and the story and the character, that sort of choice?
The production designer.
And the set decorator?
I mean, the production, when you get hand in hand like that, and then you go into details, and then you go into the set and what's actually there and shit like that, then yes. But
I think so. That's where my vote is.
I don't have...
Set deck and production design.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not saying that...
You study the characters, how they live, that life layer goes in.
Yeah. But I also feel like, I know we're sidebarring here, but I also feel like prop masters really need to be recognized in either part of the art department trophy thing, or I don't know. The prop master does a lot, a lot, and character development, like a lot. Like a lot of times, like I can only dress so much, and then when props gets there and like we overlap or whatever, like that layer that they put in, and camera angles are only this big. You're only seeing props half the time. You're not seeing my shit that I put in a drawer. You're not, I mean,
it's true.
If you're lucky, but anyway.
Sometimes you see that Starbucks coffee cup too. It's true.
Listen,
true. It's very true.
Listen, I blame visual. 100 people saw that cup and didn't say anything. I guarantee
it's
you.
It's true.
That's not just the onset dresser. Next was Handmaid's Tale. Who won?
This is what number is this for them?
I think it's 3. It's either 2 or 3. I
have not watched the season.
I didn't watch the season. I took a look at this episode.
Okay.
Again, I think season 1 was your peak kind of thing.
Totally agree.
Of establishing this world and establishing the like, oh my god, they're in Wrigley Field and they're gonna hang someone, or like, oh my god, now they're in a tunnel, like season 2, or like, I don't know. It's still an amazing.
Yeah, conceptually it was brilliant. Season 1, it was great.
Yeah, it's a great concept. It's a great looking show. I just didn't think it was going to repeat. I voted for Morning Show.
Me too. We were both in sync on
this.
Well,
I didn't vote for it. I thought that Morning Show was going to take it.
Oh, really? You didn't vote for it?
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, I voted for it.
And submitted to us.
Yeah. I voted for it. But between you and I thought Morning Show was going to win. I thought Handmaid's Tale already won. They're not going to win again. Mm-hmm. I thought that more people watch Morning Show than Succession. I'm probably wrong. Ozark, people love it. I thought they really liked the glitz and glamour of Morning Show, bright and shiny, but then dark and glass and like, I don't know.
I thought the volume of different looks in the Morning Show was so impressive. They were always moving around from different characters' houses, different executive offices, the broadcast, the entire broadcast headquarters.
The studio that they just walked and talked and everything flowed.
Control room, hallways, dressing rooms, and everything was so different and so authentic. Even the dressing rooms didn't have those mid-ground open windows to shoot through. They were small spaces like a New York freaking studio.
It was real. It was really greatly designed. I almost interviewed the designer and we couldn't get our schedules, but I was really in. And you and I both picked this to win. But
we did.
I was really shocked that Handmaid's Tale took it.
Surprised, somewhat disappointed that only Billy Crudup really kind of won something from the show. This was completely what's the right word? Undervalued, I think. And when it came out to, everybody was like, oh, it's Apple, they're trying too hard, or whatever people were criticizing for them for it. And I just enjoyed the entire season. I thought it was riveting.
I thought it
really
was good.
Relevant.
I did it in like 3 days.
Yeah.
I loved it. At least we were both on the same page. We thought that one was gonna take it.
I can't believe it. Again, I actually don't understand these voters at all. How many times must we give Handmaid's Tale to 3 different production designers?
Isn't that crazy? I mean, that says something, crazy? Too, that it's different designers still winning. A little bit.
Why are these designers jumping ship? This is a world where I'm not in. Like, what happens in your world? You're just like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to do it again.
No, well, I don't know. I can't speak for a designer, but I would think maybe I'm done with this. I want to move on. Maybe it was scheduling. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I can't do the second season. Sometimes they start it and hand it off, and it's just, you're handing it off. And some designers just want to do a pilot and move on, or like 1 season and move on.
True.
I think, too, I don't know these designers. My assumption is if they came from film, they probably just want to move on.
Well, you interview them all the time. You must know them.
I feel that's kind of the deal of like, they've done it, they want to move on.
Is it just about being creative kind of thing?
I think, yeah. I think it's like, I did it, I want to move on. But I think there's also like, there's another mentality of like, this is my baby. I'm going to ride this out. I want to see where it goes. I want to develop this. That's how I feel like on TV shows, like staying on Parks or Bones or Veep for years.
Me too.
I think of it as a development of the characters and where they're having babies, or now they're doing this, or now, they're crazy.
You become a part of a family of the entire crew too.
Yeah.
You're just like, you don't want to say goodbye or have that sort of weird.
The familiarity of working with a good group of people is very enticing not to move on.
Yeah.
You know your own evils.
It's true.
I would
hate to say goodbye to the voice.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, and sometimes you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to work on this right now. Like, it's driving me crazy. And it's about the people. They're so great. It's a good vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. And you never know. Maybe they were on location and they didn't want to be on location. Like, I don't know. But I think it's kind of common to move on after 2 seasons or a season, I think. But yeah. So there goes
Elizabeth,
that. Yeah. So there goes that.
Elizabeth, she comes from, isn't she from Masters of Sex? Did she do that?
Maybe. I don't know her.
Maybe not. I don't know.
All right. So let's jump into Outstanding Production Design for a Narrative Period or Fantasy Program. The first one was Hollywood. Which, I got the chance to talk to production designer Matthew Flood Ferguson, who was a decorator for years and years and has just moved up.
Oh, fascinating. This was my email submission to you.
Yes, you picked Hollywood, yes.
I loved this. I thought this, now I'm going to speak out of turn because you work for Ryan Murphy now, I think.
I do, but that doesn't mean I agree with him.
Okay. I think he's hit or miss. I think he has.
Yeah.
I think he has given us some things that I cannot watch.
Ratchet.
I do think that overall, it's unwatchable.
I can't. Sorry.
It was also gory. It's
can't.
just not
I don't
my cup of
care.
tea.
I don't want to watch torture scenes. What world are we living in right now that we got to watch gruesome torture? I can't do it. Go ahead.
But he is a master of aesthetic. It definitely has that Ryan Murphy touch. It always looks pretty. The lighting is always embellished. It's always Ryan Murphy. And I feel like this one just had that. I was just interested in this kind of story, and I knew it was fake, but I was like, and the story just had momentum, just kept me going. And it was good. It was good.
So this is why I'm working on American Crime Story, because it's based in reality of one of his shows.
Right.
I watched 3 episodes of Hollywood when Jim Parsons started doing the Buffalo Bill dance. I'm out. I couldn't take it anymore. I skipped through a lot of the rest of the season to see the sets, but I couldn't. I just thought it was so boring. But I loved the sets. I think the sets were fantastic. And doing that period and getting all those colors and those great shapes and forms and deco and shit, so much fun.
Really impeccable. It's always, and tell me, because you work with him now and you're working on something now, what are his, because when you watch a bunch of his shows, there's always something about them that links them all together. Now, he's not hiring the same team.
No.
Because he can't. He's doing such a volume.
Well, Matthew decorated Versace.
Oh.
And he decorated Ratchet, and then took over during Ratchet as designer. And Judy Becker designed Ratchet, did Versace, and I don't know what before that. So I think people linger, and he likes to promote. I got to give him that in his world.
That's very good.
That's always fantastic. If it wasn't American Crime Story, I don't know if I would take on a Ryan Murphy project.
Now, what makes his aesthetic his aesthetic?
Because
is it his sentiment?
He says, this is our color palette, this is what I want. It's a cross between this and that. Jamie McCall, who's the production designer on she did The Politician. She did Pose. She does I forget what he said to her. I want Pose. Was it Pose or a Politician to look like Gucci's fashion from 1994 with a little mix of Call Me by Your Name.
That's pretty wild.
Like, I'm not saying that correctly, but it was something like that. Like, he's very specific in color palette, in vibe, and mood, and you just go with it, and you present everything to him, and either he likes it or he doesn't, and then you know where you stand. Like,
wow.
I kind of appreciate that, because even though you're constantly trying to get everything approved, it's still like, okay, well, I know where I'm going, and I think eventually, like, you just do it, but...
And he's the decision maker. It doesn't have to go to the network or anything like that. You basically have to get it... It's just Ryan. That's it.
Ryan. Yeah. So, like, this past weekend, we did 3 episodes of Ratchet, and then I couldn't do any more. And I started to get, like, agita of, like, oh my god, is this what my world is supposed to be? Everything's so pretty, everything's so nice, like, everything is so perfect and beautiful.
Everything is so pretty, yep.
But it's not, because our world is muted, but reality. And it's different. I think Crime Story's different for him. And Pose is different. Pose is like a reality, and it's dirty and gritty. Politician is turned up in color. So he's all over the place. I think you just have to pick what world you want to be in with him.
That's pretty awesome to hear. That's pretty incredible. I really respect that. I don't know what it's like to work with him personally or anything like that.
I haven't met him. My boards get sent up, and then I get notes. I don't... So I'm not saying...
Wow.
I'm just saying what my experience in the prep of this show has been. He hasn't seen a set yet. He could walk in and hate it. I don't know. But he's seen the boards. So... Wow. I don't know.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That's such a weird experience.
It's so weird.
Oh my... I do tell
terrifying.
My team... I have a lot of 3D artists that work with me, and when we talk about lighting, it's always I think you need to watch Eat, Pray, Love. We need to study Ryan Murphy, because his lighting is masterful. It's romantic, and it's over the top.
It's absolutely one of the things that, like, they talk about, the production designer and the DP talk about, what are our influences, what do we want this to look like, and then it falls on me. And as I have said, I really want the DP's paycheck, because I'm providing all the light on the set with all the lamps and practicals. So shouldn't I get a DP credit? I don't know. I don't know. I think that's a union call.
It's like lamps plus out there. A lamp in every shot. But it is...
It's not. It's actually like one light in the room. It's like... watch All President's Men and go see, like, I want one light, and it's, you watch All President's Men, it's dark. There's, like, no lights on, and it's one practical in the room. Like, it's awesome. And so when you start to get a vibe like that, the conversation, or, like, things like that, you start to watch, and what they're trying to achieve, then as a decorator, that's all I'm looking at is lampshades and lamps, and, like, even the height of lamps, of how they're going to get their light, like... It just becomes obsessive.
Obsessive, yet you're going to remember those lessons. Like, it's really exciting to listen to myself.
I'm going to remember this when I do my Emmy podcast next year and plead for votes.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, that's kind of, to me, it's why you're a creative. It's not to sort of get the budget down.
No.
It's really to sort of talk about those choices. Yeah.
Yeah. So... You thought Hollywood would win.
I chose Hollywood with a close second of something else coming up. But we'll keep going.
So The Crown is next. The Crown won. I might have voted for The Crown, but I didn't think it would win.
Interesting. You submitted something else to me that I was in line with.
Yeah.
But you may have voted for this. This was also really, really good.
The Crown,
Olivia, what's her last name, was unbelievable.
The Crown, we rewatched it during COVID. It's I love The Crown. I could watch it again right now. Absolutely love it. I think it's impeccably done. Yeah. I think it's a documentary. I just think it's incredible. It's incredible.
It's a history lesson, really. I mean, it's so good.
The next one was Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is beautiful and pretty, and I feel like they should win something for that design. I really do.
I don't know why I chose Hollywood now. I mean, these were also two really good shows. So masterfully done. I mean, this is the sort of best of the best. Yeah, Marvelous Miss Maisel. I mean, it's
gorgeous.
Vast.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's ridiculously gorgeous. It's over the top fun design.
And Bill Groom is a decorated, award-winning designer.
Amazing designer.
Many, many, many times and celebrated. So I feel like I made a choice because he couldn't get it 2 years in a row. But he is, a smart man.
Well, we both thought Watchmen was going to get it.
I did.
I thought
it was a close second. Yeah.
I thought it was The Cool Kids. I thought Watchmen's going to take the whole year. I really thought Watchmen was going to take Best Drama. I really thought Watchmen was just going to fucking sweep. And that's why I thought it would win.
Me too. I thought it was really relevant. I thought it was really designed. It was a concept really had a lot of layers. Not my cup of tea.
I watched two episodes. I scanned through this one. I couldn't get through it. Not my cup of tea, but I appreciate it a lot.
Sometimes it's just not that kind of night. You know what I mean? It's not the Watchmen kind of night. You're like, I'm not going to dive into that right now. It's Wednesday. Had a rough day. Somebody yelled at my face today.
Right.
Not going to go into it.
No, I want to watch Maisel. I want to go out into Funland and watch Maisel and be like, ooh, look at the dress she's wearing.
Exactly.
The last one in this category was Westworld. I only watched the first season of Westworld and I hated it. Not design-wise. I think design, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But I'm not in. I can't. So,
I thought season 1 was brilliant. I didn't know it was still on after that. I can't believe that this.
But I know it's a lot of work. I know Westworld is a shit ton of work, and I really appreciate that. I watched some of this episode, and their sets are really good. They really are. And imaginative, and you're dealing with different periods of time, and you gotta come up with all this shit. It's a lot.
Well,
that show is a lot.
Big Brother is a lot of work also.
No, it's not. It's not. There is no way you're gonna compare Big Brother to fucking Westworld.
Well, I sort of just don't understand why Westworld's in this anymore. I feel like it's a cult classic, like Big Brother. It's good.
Oh, okay.
People are watching it, but it's not necessarily. Okay. Big Brother also lots of work, lots of money. But is this award-winning content? I don't know.
I think Mrs. America should have been nominated.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that they were not nominated for their sets.
I'm actually still watching it right now. It's really, really good. Also, so good. I don't know if it's actually. This may not be eligible, but The Great. Have you been seeing that? Have you watched that on Hulu?
My husband watched it. It was eligible because it was up for Best Comedy or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, why wasn't that? But that's half hour. Is that half hour? Don't get me started on half hour.
Well, if we're going to talk about categories, I mean, half an hour. What is even hour or half hour anymore?
All right,
We've got to relook at that. All right,
well, let's dive in. Outstanding production design for a narrative program, half hour. Half hour, people.
This is the marker of changing times in our industry, because what's a 42-minute show classified at?
It's not half hour. It's not. It's not half hour. I think this is wrong, but I think Mandalorian should win. It created a whole goddamn new way of shooting shit. It absolutely is mind-blowing. It should win something. But
is the hot chick right now.
It's not. And what's crazy is if you go back, and my Emmy says half hour or less. This category doesn't say it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Well, I've got an engraving that says half hour or less, and that was only 2 years ago. Outstanding production design for a narrative program. I was upset at a couple of things in this category. Well, one. But
yes.
let's just go through it. So, number 1, Glow. Glow. Now, they did a casino.
Have they won?
Did they win? No. They won I think they won an ADG award, I think.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe they won 3 years ago. 2 years ago? Maybe they won 2 years ago.
Maybe they won.
When I wasn't nominated.
Yeah.
When Veep took that year off, I think they might have won.
Before I paid attention.
When Julia had cancer and we had to postpone a year, I can't remember who the winner was. No. Now, see, that's the wine talking.
Yeah. Thank God. We needed that.
No.
We needed to get there.
But this season of Glow was a casino, which I thought actually was really well done and so tacky and gross. And then that big theater, like, I get it. Like, they did a lot. Like, it was a good design season. They went out in the desert. They did a lot. So Glow.
This is one of those shows to me that does solid work every season, and they're getting nominated and recognized, and it's sad that they don't win again. They should win again, but it's also, they're becoming like, I don't know, your best friend in the nominations. They're not, they're there.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're there.
They're there. Maybe. They've been there a couple years. Good for them. It's a good show. I'm glad that they're recognized. The next one
I was super surprised about this next one.
Super surprised. Me too.
Space Force. A little out there.
Space Force, which I immediately, when I watched it and tried to struggle through it because it wasn't I couldn't, but I watched the whole thing. This is COVID time. You had time to just dwiddle through the shit. I love Steve Carell.
Which might attribute to the fact of my passion for Hollywood, because
you're still trying to defend your Hollywood thing. You really got you voted for Hollywood. You really voted Hollywood.
It was good. Okay. It was good, but it could have been COVID though.
Okay. Well, were you voting for Space Force?
Absolutely not.
So then it wasn't a COVID excuse.
I may have voted for it to be nominated though.
Oh, first round.
And I feel like it's a timing thing, because it did have a lot of marketing behind it, and I did watch it. Didn't get through it all, but I remember thinking, this is pretty good. Okay.
Did you watch that Julia Roberts Netflix thing where
Away?
No, that's Hilary Swank. It was like 2 years ago. It's like unbelievable. It's like Homecoming.
Oh,
I actually thought it was the same set.
Oh, wow. See, Homecoming, I liked it, but Wally
no, I was
not
iffy.
like it, so I stopped watching it, but I liked it.
But I'm talking about the sets.
I
actually thought they were in the same building. I don't know if they used the same location, but I kind of thought they were in the same building.
This Space Force was clearly expensive. They had a lot of different spaces that they were going between.
It's the office and a hallway and a cafeteria. I think
it was farcical. It was cool. I mean, it was still cool.
I'll tell you what I like. I'll tell you what I like about this nomination is I looked up the designer and the decorator and all, and they're all people who like just came out of it and they're new and fresh, like you're saying. Like I was like, good for you. Like that's what made me like appreciate the nomination of like, good for you being recognized for like.
Yeah.
New work.
Who are they? Where do they come from? The circus? Where are they from?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have time to look them up right now. I'm sorry. I didn't prepare.
Susie was a waitress at the Denny's?
I didn't prepare. I didn't know. I mean, she was a designer, but I think it was like low budge, I think. And then all of a sudden she's on Space Force or something. That's kind of how I remember how this going. And I was like, oh, I'm good for you. Like, good for you.
That is cool. That is cool. And special. Yeah.
Now, next, we both thought Mandalorian would win because obviously Mandalorian's going to win because they created a whole new way of shooting cameras and lighting and set deck.
We'll talk about.
And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It should be awarded it can no way compare to What We Do in the Shadows or Will and Grace or Glow or Space Force. You cannot compare what they did on that show to these other nominees. Sorry.
I completely agree. I'm surprised you're saying that. And I'll tell you why. When I saw this list, I thought, oh, Mandalorian. It's all anybody's talking about. COVID.
Yeah.
LED screens wrap around.
Yep.
This is like video game integration. And yet, how remarkable that is. And everybody's talking about it. And anybody who's listening to this podcast right now, if you haven't heard the word Mandalorian, you're not in this business. Everybody's talking about this effing show.
Everyone.
Yet, why I'm surprised you also thought the same is it really has nothing to do with art department, does it, currently? We're talking about this great new technology, but art department is still saying, yeah, but we don't do that. We don't do screen content. We'll just put out the props in front of the screen content. And yet everybody's talking about sort of eliminating some of this art department work through virtual screen technology, and we're going to give it an award in our category. And I thought when I said, oh, and Mandalorian, because I am definitely dabbling in some of this virtual work right now, and I thought this is a game changer. To me, this is really smart. But from the Emmy voters, this is also, unless we pivot very fast right effing now, this is a job killer. And still, we voted for it.
Well, as I have friends who work in this little world, it takes a lot of people to do it. It might not take the same people to do it, but it takes a lot of people to do it. I also think that the designer definitely has a voice in what is up on those screens and color timing and what, I definitely think he's working with DP in that sense. I think that the set dressing that has to integrate with these pieces has to be so specific and work in different views, and I think it's just a whole nother way of working, and they fucking figured it out, and it's awesome. I think they still had to build that spaceship. They still had to build a ton of shit.
Yeah, but true.
I don't know.
Honestly, one of the dirty little secrets is they fixed a lot of it in post. But
absolutely.
It's one of those pioneer type productions, and now we've spoken to Epic Games quite a bit, my office, and if you didn't know that, there are 160 LED screen studios up and running by the end of this year.
Yeah.
By the end of this year. It's in no time, every lot will have at least 1 to 2.
It's like everyone using the Matrix camera. It's the new kid on the block. They're gonna use it, and then we're gonna suss it out, and we'll get back to reality. The thing about it in this category is that it seems unfair that it's such a high-tech thing against What We Do in the Shadows, which is the next one, which I only watched that one episode, but I intend to watch the whole thing because I thought it was hilarious, but I haven't gotten to it. And then
didn't even see it. I don't even know what it was. I thought it was something on Quibi.
And then the last contender, Will and Grace, which is you don't want to say dinosaur in the category, but it's which it was new.
I love Grandma.
I know, me too. Oh my God, me too. I watch it. I love it. I love it. But it's multicam. It's not as popular as it used to be. These shows ebb and flow. In 10 years, it could be nothing but multicam, and you won't even hear anything about single cam. You never know. And I think, they recreated Lucy. They did a phenomenal job recreating this shit. It doesn't matter. You can't compare to new technology that is going to move our design forward. You can't. It was an automatic Mandalorian, I think.
Well, it's a game changer. You can still appreciate Emmy-nominated production like Will and Grace.
I do.
A high level.
I mean, you don't know. I might have voted for everyone but Mandalorian. You don't know.
I will tell you, top secret, just between us girls.
Okay,
I totally voted for Mandalorian.
So did I.
It's an
How do you
industry
not?
game changer.
Yeah, no.
And I'm sick and tired of hearing about it at work, and I still don't care.
Well,
It's
you
one of those
must
things
hear
that
about
happens
it
every once in a while.
But you must hear it a lot about at work because what is the Nick? What did you do? You were like the first person to like do a virtual set with Nick. What's his name?
We did a Nick with Nick Cannon. We did a virtual set reunion show for The Masked Singer, and it was right during COVID.
Yeah,
and we
it was
got
one
right
of the
into
first things that was like live.
Yeah.
Like you use those screens like right off the bat, man.
Live, went for it, and it had nothing to do with Mandalorian, but it's still the same technology. And I'll tell you, from a production design standpoint, the creative freedom that you can have with it, if you still hold on to a bit of reality while you design, the creative freedom is really limitless. It is so exciting. And
so you still controlled what was on screens or ish, and like,
absolutely,
yeah.
Well, Kim, though, this is a bit of a land grab right now in VFX. Sort of, and from a production design standpoint, when you look at kind of like a capture of what's being produced with this tech, you can tell when a decorator and a designer have a voice in it versus when they don't. Proportions and style are just off. It just looks like an Arab news channel. It just looks whack. It's just like by a technician, you know.
Alibaba. Alibaba.
I encourage every decorator. We did another one afterwards on TBS, another thing with Mayim from Big Bang Theory, another sort of like Zoom kind of panel show, and I brought my set decorator on for a week of prep just to help me style the interior of an apartment because it's
right. It's real.
That's really important. You need that voice. Yeah. If you don't have it, it just looks awkward and fake.
I think though, one of the things when I saw the recap, was it a recap? It was with Nick Cannon.
It was after The Mask. It was a reunion show, yeah.
Because I watched The Masked Singer. I watch it. I fast forward through a lot because I just want to hear the voices. I actually don't like the judges, but I just want to hear the voices and see who it is. That's honesty. With me, I was like, oh, they're still able to have a show. It's one dude. Where is he? But you have to have something in his foreground or something to keep perspective. You have to have some sort of dressing and or point that the actor needs. I think it's a lot of the actor needs that, and that's my point of view. You need something in there. When actors are just in green screen, you feel it.
They feel it.
Yeah.
And, to me, it's visual cake. Like, it's a lot to see, and that's really good. And I feel like, after COVID, we're going to all learn a lot. After Mandalorian, we've all learned a lot. But really just having this tech accessible and allowing us to mix it, and for production designers and decorators and art directors to learn it and then to mix it. I cannot wait to see the content being made in the next 5 years. It's so exciting from Mandalorian and some of this tech. Stay tuned to mix this LED technology and let it be accessible to everybody. It's like a shot of steroids into this tech.
Yeah, I think it's something, and I talked like off mic with Brian Stone Street about it, like Grammys or like opportunities in that way. I think, and remotely, because God knows how long we're going to have to do remote shit that for actors to feel safe. I think, having one dude come onto a sound stage and do his thing and leave, and get tested before and after.
For COVID, yeah.
I wanted to ask you though, what was your flooring in the mask? Because it was sort of reflective, if I remember correctly, right?
Oh yeah, we did. It was Nick was in a green screen studio. We shot that in the height of COVID.
Yeah.
And so he was completely in a green screen studio. The next one we did, I painted the floor to match what was supposed to be there. I painted it concrete, and I brought in a physical railing for her to interact with. Also, COVID.
Right.
Today I shot 2 music videos back to back, which was unbelievable, on LED screens. And with that set up, it was a turnkey studio. So we just walked in. I brought my 3D environment. We plopped it in. And that one had a floor that was LED. And we put concrete or whatever, or candles in it. The floor is tough.
Yeah.
To me, I highly recommend a physical floor. It really is to get shadows and true quality. Either green screen or LED, physical floor is really, and obviously when you can safely mix in physical elements, that's really going to give you a lot more believability, photorealism.
Is it harder to have physical elements lighting-wise? Or is it the same, do you think?
Lighting is a little tougher in green screen, but then again, they've been doing green screen for
Oh yeah, I
50 years.
I think monitor wise, I'm talking about the monitors and all that shit. Do you think?
Oh, in LED, it's LED is so great. I mean, if you're using LED, it's giving off light. It's harder to get shadows. Right. Is the problem.
I should say there is a making of Mandalorian on Disney Plus if anybody has it, which is great to watch of how that set, all the sets were actually constructed. It's really great to watch. I watched it twice because I was like, wait, how do they do that? Let me watch it again. So that will give anyone some sort of clue as to what we're visually talking about. Because if you don't know, then you know.
But if you didn't know this too, The Wizard of Oz had a projection backdrop too. This is
it's been going on forever.
Scenography.
Yeah.
It's been around forever.
Do you think it'll last?
Absolutely. What this is doing is teaching people to use it, and teaching producers teaching producers it can be a success.
Because it wasn't
teaching the art department, which is a very conservative department, on how to embrace it and use it to their benefit. It's not going anywhere, folks.
Because it's not like Mandalorian was made during COVID. It was before that. I think COVID just brought it to the forefront of a way to record or get things done with stylistic backgrounds that didn't require 10 set dressers or a production or construction. It just happened. And you could say you're going to put people out of jobs. From what I hear,
no way.
It's just jobs in a different department. It takes a lot of people to make all that happen. So, yeah,
no way.
Yes
what
and no.
I will
yes
say
and no.
Is wake up to the union. Take a look at this and organize this.
Right?
We need to be involved in this part of the process.
Yes.
It should not be VFX industry entirely.
No.
Yes, they're very good at it.
It absolutely is artistic. It absolutely is the scenery. It's the scenery.
Conceptual building.
Yes. It absolutely should be a part of ADG as storyboard artists and set designers and model makers. What you should be, they should be.
That's what you're going to see. It's going to organize itself. People need to just get involved with it. It's exciting stuff.
I hope. So you asked me what were the top 5 things I watched during COVID.
Yes, I mean I must know. Your top 5 so far. Not like COVID's over.
Well, now I'm back to work, so I'm not watching as much type thing. I would say the number one thing that I've recommended over and over is Mrs. America.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I just thought it was fun. It was a history lesson. It was beautiful to watch. I thought the acting was great. My poor John Sterling looked awful in it, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I didn't like the last 2 episodes, but I didn't think it finished strong, but I loved it. I love Kate Blanchett.
I'm still watching it.
What episode are you on?
She's, I think, 6.
Yeah. It's good. Do you like it?
I do like it. It's not like I loved The Great. I loved Catherine the Great. I there's a new doc you have to watch. I just devoured this weekend, The Challenger on Netflix.
Well, listen, Challenger blew up on my birthday. It's part of me. So that's on my queue. But you were talking COVID. Wow. I went back months. I mean, I didn't go like this past weekend.
Oh, it's still COVID in my opinion. Oh my God. If I'm doing my own laundry, it's COVID.
Well, I went back to like, what did I watch in March? What did I think about in April? Like, I went back and like was like, oh no, I really like that. My number 2, I rewatched The Wire.
Oh,
phenomenal. You can't not watch. If you don't watch The Wire, I don't like you.
Well, we got HBO Max, and obviously,
right, well,
and
get
I'm a judge on Craftopia. And,
there you go. There you go.
And their library is really good. And
yes.
I'm obsessed with new content. And I'm always like, okay, Wally, what's new on Netflix? What's new on HBO Max? What should we watch tonight? And he, during COVID, has been dusting off some old classics on HBO Max. And so I rewatched Batman Returns.
That's a movie.
Was really good.
Batman Returns with
really
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah, Tim Burton.
Well, how do you not watch that at least once a year? What are you talking about? You dusted it off. I watch that every time it's on. I watch it. I fucking love it. Oswald is phenomenal. That set design is phenomenal. When she's up in that cage, oh my God. And she eats the bird. Oh, it's the best.
Unbelievable.
It's
unbelievable.
It's the best.
I was like blown away. And also had to watch The Fugitive again with Harrison Ford. And I hadn't seen that in probably 30 years, whatever, how long it's been.
Wait a minute. Are you going in? Are you? Is that one of your top 5? The Fugitive?
These are up there, yeah. In my streaming, my streaming COVID tale.
The Fugitive?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I mean, all right. I mean, I watched The Fugitive a lot, probably when it was relevant. But I love, what's her name? Selena Ward? Celia Ward? Celia Ward. He plays his wife that gets killed. I loved her. She was on Sisters. She was on Sisters on NBC. She was Teddy. Oh my God, I loved her. The Fugitive. Huh.
Also on HBO Max, and I'm also going to plug them one more time.
Oh my God.
That Ridley Scott show,
Don't say Raised by Wolves. Raised by Wolves is so bad.
Are you kidding me?
I'm on episode 4 right now, and I can't. My husband, I can't. What?
It's really good.
It
could be COVID. It could be COVID. It could be
not.
COVID,
it's not good. I don't know what you're talking. It's not good at all. I don't know why we're watching it. All I know is that poor actress probably hasn't eaten in months. She's in this. She's in that.
It's the new Game of Thrones.
It is not.
It's
How
the new Game of
dare
Thrones.
you? Wait a minute. Wait. Did you watch Game of Thrones? Because that's like blasphemy. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
That's like wizards and dragons, and then there's aliens and necromancers.
Necromancers. Stop. Stop it right now. Stop. Okay. All right. So my 5 was Mrs. America, rewatching The Wire / Crown. The documentary, A Hollywood Story, Harold and Lillian, is a phenomenal documentary that everyone listening to this podcast needs to watch. It's about Harold Mickelson, who was a storyboard artist, and Lillian Mickelson, who ran the Mickelson Library that we all went to do research. It's phenomenal.
Wow.
You have to watch it. It's on Netflix. Do it right now. I also thought the Beastie Boys documentary was quite amazing.
Wow.
And on Hulu, I really enjoyed Catch-22.
Wow.
I went deep. I went back to like April.
I like that we're both into documentaries.
Oh,
yeah, Challenger.
I love documentaries. Well, I mean, I'll Be Gone in the Dark. I mean, that was phenomenal.
That was my top
phenomenal.
5. In my top 5.
I want to watch The Vow. I think that's. I heard today that's really good. My husband will watch it. I gotta watch it on the slide. But I'm gonna watch The Vow.
I heard that's great.
I love documentaries. I watched these great documentaries about this dude who was like Stanley Kubrick's like #1 and then made like a whole life out of it. It was really sad.
Wow.
I watched great documentaries about like Brian De Palma or like the Spielberg documentary that I think is on HBO is great. Like,
oh, that, yeah.
I went deep into our industry. I watched that documentary about DeMille and how they just buried the set of 10 Commandments in the 20s in some desert up by Santa Barbara, which is crazy. And then they've been trying to dig it up for like 80 years. That's crazy.
Okay, I think I just saw a preview for that one, actually. You're into it. There's a new one on Netflix going to be called American Murder Story.
I'm in.
And it's a 1 episode. It's about that family in Colorado, about the guy that killed his wife and his kids.
And and what's his name? Wait, the sergeant. He was like in the military. Is it from the 80s?
No, it's like it's not that long ago. It's like 2017.
Oh.
It's so good.
I am also, when you said the guy who killed his family in California, I was thinking of Gary Cole, because he did this, like, movie of the week back in the 80s. Wait, I'm looking it up right now. It was like, he played the guy who killed his family. Fatal Vision. Oh my god, Fatal Vision. If you haven't seen that, it was in 84. It was a TV miniseries with Gary Cole. Fatal Vision. He's a military officer. He killed his wife and kids and then tried to blame it on someone else. Oh my god, it was so good.
This was a show? A show? Oh, no. In 2017. Okay, thank God. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I go deep. I'm good at, like...
Oh, my God.
If you talk about, like, late 80s movies, early 90s movies, I know everyone who was in it and who directed it, and then, like, I don't know, my record skipped or something, like, in the early 20s, early 2000s, and I forget shit. I think when I really started working and, like... remembering where Aztec was, or like remembering that wallpaper we used once on that wall started to filter in.
Right.
I forgot about the actors in some of the movies, so... But before that, I'm really good at shit.
Do you think that Tiger King was snubbed at the Emmys this year?
No, I think Tiger King was awful. I don't think that it should have even gotten any publicity. I think those animals were fucking tortured. I think that chick killed her husband and fed her to the tigers.
On Dancing with the Stars.
And now she's on Dancing with the Stars. Like, no.
Crazy.
No, I don't think it was snubbed. I think it was cool for 3 weeks. And then...
It was
COVID cool. And then it's like, oh no, actually they were torturing animals. Let's not vote for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I got really mad. I was watching it and I was mad at myself for watching it. I don't know.
I mean, I was into it. And I also baked bread. You know, like it was...
I didn't do it. I didn't do my Sarah bread starter. I got twins.
I got really into it.
I got a lot more going on. I got twins. I was really into... Adam Rao, who you and I know... for like a year or 2 or so has been telling me, I go, what are you doing? What are you watching? And he's like, I just watch YouTube. And I go, what? You watch YouTube? You dork. And then now, starting COVID, I would put like live bird feeders on. And me and the boys would just watch live birds. Awesome. And then like, now they watch like trash trucks and like dumpsters and shit. And they're really into Blippi, which makes me very angry. But... YouTube actually has a lot to offer in content. There's a lot out there besides like how-to videos.
Right. No, that's
and
true.
I never dove into it before COVID. So I have a new appreciation for YouTube, I would say.
They do content. Yeah, we've worked for them before. They're good people to work with too. It's
Did you do
like
Cobra Kai? No.
Which show?
Cobra Kai?
No, I didn't. No, that has a script.
I don't... Would you ever do scripted? Would you get in? What do you do it? Would you do it?
Yeah,
I mean, you have.
Yeah. Yeah. I did Instant Influencer with James Charles. It's a sort of competition makeup, how to be an influencer
show.
you know, I find that the creativity is really, really fun in variety, and
yeah,
I'm happy there.
Well, you've dominated your niche.
I wouldn't mind spreading out either, but I'm not trying to find work either. You know what I mean? Like,
well, no, everybody's calling you. What do you mean?
Yeah,
you're not.
It's super creative, and I don't have to read.
Yeah, the reading on the scripts really gets in the way. You're totally right.
Such a bummer at the end of the day.
Do you think, and you and I are part of this Emmy world, and I want to get back in, and you're in it, do you think we're really relevant anymore?
TV or us?
What do you mean? TV. Like, not TV, but like an awards type of Emmys.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, God.
I don't think it is.
You sound like...
No, James, I'm going to be honest.
Like the Emmy Awards that I just watched.
Listen to me. I don't want to be... I don't want to lessen every time I watch it. I think it should be a private thing, and we appreciate each other. I don't think the public cares as much as they used to, and I don't think they should. We're not the royalty as we used to be.
No. Disagree. That was a time where it was a social fun club and a frontier to explore, but just by the nature of population and growth, we can't step backwards and be insular. We have to figure out a way how a big industry like this can figure it out now. In 20 to 50 years, we're going to be bigger.
Well,
we can't just like cut out half of the artists.
No, I don't think our industry is dying at all. If anything, we're thriving. No. I think the celebration, as in Emmy, Oscars, isn't what it used to be. I think, you know, you're pulling out like a Nicole Kidman and a Tom Cruise at like an award show, and a quarter of the audience know whose it is. Like, that's just it. Like, it's just not there as it used to be.
There has to be a creative way how to celebrate a mass amount. It's too big, and they haven't figured out how to do that cleverly. People still want to.
Then you gotta gamble. This. Then you gotta put odds on people. You gotta gamble. That's the way you're gonna get people in. You gotta create.
We haven't done it right.
You have to create this. Like, you have to create a drama. Then there's no drama in it anymore. Zendaya winning was like a fucking upset. Like, really? And that was the biggest upset of the night, and it was, but no one was watching, so who cared?
It needs to be, in my opinion, a little bit more like Succession, where we have to get a view on some place that's unattainable.
Yes.
I still think that's why people watch. I think there's high expectations, but people will still watch.
The glamour aspect.
Yeah. And not so fake. I don't want a Kia integration. I'll tell you that. I agree.
No, that was so lame.
Yeah.
So lame.
I did love seeing people's homes. I did want to make... I did love that.
I don't think it's a bad thing to keep it virtual like that. I actually don't. I thought it was quicker, and everyone was together rather than a row, and you get up by yourself, and it's 5 minutes to the stage, and...
I loved seeing the families celebrate them.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo's wife was unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, even, like, with Good Place, my creator, Mike Schur, was there with his wife and his 2 kids, and they're wearing, like, Good Place shirts, and, like,
we got a chance to really understand who these people were.
Yeah.
And that's cool. So maybe it's so big, it's a moment to just look inside their world. That's cool. I like that stuff. It's not going away. Oh, God. That's like saying, I'm moving to Mexico if Trump gets elected. Really? That's a bit of a reaction. Like, he sucks. I disagree. We shouldn't vote for him. But I'm not going to move away. Kim.
I'm not moving away. No.
Yeah, I know.
No, I just wonder, too, if ratings still keep going down and down, how much longer a network is going to commit to airing it.
Right. Is it network or is it who's airing it?
Well, it's ABC.
Well, maybe.
I mean, ABC has Oscars
the Emmys,
and Emmys.
The Emmys cycle through all the broadcasts.
Oh, right. Right.
The Oscars are on ABC.
Right.
But maybe it's just who's airing it. Is anybody even watching Broadcast Network?
Can you put it live on Netflix? Is that the way to go?
They're not
for YouTube. YouTube should buy it up and just.
That doesn't mean they can't just shoot it and then just drop it like a Beyonce album, though. I predict that it will move in 4 or 5 years.
It should. Look at Monday Night Football. It used to be a staple in American culture every Monday night on ABC. Now it's on ESPN. I never watch it. I forget that it's on. It's not on ABC. I've forgotten in the last 5-6 years or whatever. But once it moved, it's a different world. It gets better viewership because your audience is concentrated to that network rather than ABC, who just wants to at the time wanted to watch Dancing with the Stars rather than football. So, yeah, maybe it is a move that would fire it up.
If the Emmys were on Netflix, people would watch it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Or Hulu. Hulu's a bitch. They still put things out weekly instead of all at once.
People would watch it. That's what in my opinion, that's what it is.
I had a friend who worked at Netflix when it very first started. And they were like, oh, they just want to be like, they kind of want to be like Netflix. Like, they've got 2 shows and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, make shit. They should just make shit. Make shit. You got a captive audience that is paying for it. Buy up used content. They'll get it. And they're like, whoa, it's a lot of money to make shitty shit. And I go, people will watch shit. I'm telling you right now, they paid for this. They will watch it all the way through. People will watch it. And now look at Hulu. Hulu's got 4 good shows on it.
I know. But every time I turn it on, I'm like, I can't believe we didn't even hear about this.
No, they don't. They don't publicize shit. And look, they won again for *Handmaid's Tale*.
I know.
People are watching.
I can't believe Amazon. Every time I turn on Amazon, I'm like, where did this show come from? Okay, let's watch that.
You know what I can't believe wasn't nominated was *Tales from the Loop*. If you haven't,
I've never even heard.
Oh my god, the design of that is really good too, and every episode is fucking sad. I thought about it after I watched it a lot. That tells me it touched me. *Tales from the Loop* was really good.
Okay, Okay, this is so good too. We both watch a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear these. Even your docs that you rattled off. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta watch this.
You gotta watch that storyboard one, a Hollywood love story. It's so sweet. It's so good.
Oh, you know what also was really good on HBO Max? I don't know. For some reason, I'm obsessed. The one with
Kia.
What?
Okay, Kia. You keep saying HBO Max like you're getting paid.
I know. Literally, I am an inspiration.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, what was it? What was it called? The modern, not modern love. It was her love life.
Oh, with Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, it was great.
I heard it's really good. I haven't. Here's the thing. HBO changed up their apps. They don't get on. They're not on Amazon Fire. I gotta connect my phone to get HBO Max. It's it's a process, and it's
hurting them right now. It's hurting them.
9 p.m. I don't have that effort, bro. 9 o'clock at night. I don't have the effort to go put on my phone, start up my app.
They know it too. That's what I've heard. We have the smart TV, so it's it just showed up.
It won't load on my smart TV. I was really bummed.
Oh, they fixed that. You can check again.
All right, I have a Samsung.
Yeah, we have a Sony, but the first time we tried it, it didn't work. Now it works.
All right, I'll try it again. I was like, we don't have HBO, but yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch your Dancing with Wolves or Raised by Wolves.
I know. Well, yeah, that's what we did the last 2 nights.
It's really weird.
Oh, dude, that chick didn't eat a cracker for that whole shooting. The mouth open is so weird.
So weird.
And the little kid looks like the little kid from Neverending Story, but that was 30 years ago, so it can't be the same kid.
With like a weird name, Banyan or something like that. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. But it's good.
So, let's recap.
Okay.
We don't know shit. 1 for 5, 2 for 5. We don't know shit. And we went for what we thought was going to win and not even what we voted for.
True.
We think everyone should get a statue because it's all hard. It's all hard. And
it's sort of like when you're in your little zone going through life day by day, you're like, I deserve this. And then when you really look at who actually got nominated, there are amazing teams out there.
Yeah. Some you question because you're bitter and or jealous. I think,
and some were your coordinator and now are winning or getting nominated.
Right.
You know, you never know.
Exactly. It's all hard work. It's all like it's all a lot in the moment, and it's all a lot to get it on the screen. And we all work our balls off to get it there. Whether you're in Variety, 1 hour or half hour, it's all a lot of work, and that's why I do this podcast so that we get some recognition.
Yeah, it is. Your podcast is great, and it's really like it's exciting to hear different people. It's also like exciting to talk to somebody who talks to so many different artists.
Oh, believe me, I'm blown away that I even got to talk to. Like, it blows me away because I geek out. Like as much as research as I can do on these people, and I start like watching movies, and I'm like, Pan's Labyrinth. What do I ask about everybody? He's answered every question. What can I do? And what I don't do is any research on anyone, like any other interviews. Like I pretend like this is the only interview you're ever gonna do, and I'm just gonna ask as a film dork. So I'm sure they've answered my questions a million times, and they've been very generous. But I really try to ask dumb questions, not dumb, but like more simple questions so that anyone listening to this can follow along. And that might make me look dumb sometimes, but I really am trying to think of it as a listener.
Yeah, you got a good perspective. I mean, you have a good perspective. It's really, I loved hearing about the Ryan Murphy stuff. It's really, it's cool. It's cool.
I might get fired for that, but that's cool.
Yeah, well, I didn't say anything that great either.
So wait, you're an intricate part of the ADG Awards. Have they talked about that yet?
No, I'm not actually. I'm not on any sort of governing. I'm not on a governing board. I'm only asked as sort of a guest to do the red carpet.
And they're not talking about it yet.
No, I have no. And honestly, last year, Kim, I was asked like a month before.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very, very loose up until the last minute, as far as
I'm available.
We could do it virtually.
We could do it virtually. Oh my God, yeah. We would have the same show notes. We'd be up on it. Now your co-host, which I think she is tremendously funny.
Yeah, she's great. Deirdre's a wonderful.
Yeah,
she's a star.
Yeah, she's great.
The truth of the matter is it is exciting. People do watch it. It's a great time to see everybody. But no, they don't ask me until the last.
I just preface this. You host the red carpet of the ADG Awards the last couple of years. You do a tremendous job because you have to do research on all of these people who are nominated. Not everybody gets to do red carpet, by the way.
No, that's true.
They kind of Heisman you.
There's only a few people. In fact, every year it's a live experience and it's incredibly exhausting. So we do ask for a limited amount of people because you do need time to engage.
Yeah.
You can't just a factory turnout. You'd think I'm so glad to hear this because you'd think we researched, but I don't research at all. I just get up there and talk to people.
Okay, James. Okay,
But
all right. Hello.
You just know their body of work. You just know who they are. I just know many of them. I get a card of what they've done, and I've seen some of the shows, and I ask the questions I want to know.
All right, I'll go with that. I think that's good. I feel like I would watch some shit to prepare.
No.
Okay. Well, so, hey, listen to me. I don't listen to other interviews. I don't read other interviews that people have done on my podcast. I don't care. I literally reached out to a decorator who I've been obsessed with for years this week and was like, oh, nobody's talking to her.
Yeah.
And then I saw that she just did an Architectural Digest interview and I was like, oh, she probably thinks I read that and then I'm trying to get her. I didn't read that.
You're just genuine. I'm just genuine. I don't know about you. Yes, I'm interested.
Yes. And especially
when
really you're at the red carpet.
I love this business so much.
Yes. And when you're at the ADG Awards, it's such a special time to celebrate us because it's just us.
Yes.
It's great. And you do a great job. So thank you.
Thanks.
Adam and I almost stormed the stage like 2 years ago. We kind of got through like the first layer of security. And we were like, no. James said we were coming on. Because we weren't nominated. We were like, no. James said we were coming on.
Oh, we should have had.
And they were like, oh. And then I saw you and you waved. And then it was like you were interviewing like celebrities. And then we waited there. And I was like, fuck this. I'm going to the bar.
Oh, it's a fun thing to drink through too, really, honestly, because
that's all you can do.
There's so much adrenaline. It's so intense.
But let's be honest, another award show that could be harried up. It's got to be.
I don't think I've ever sat through the entire thing.
Never. Once they're done TV, like everyone who does film, God bless you. I'm up at the bar. I'm up at the bar. I don't care.
Yeah, it's really about seeing a lot of people, your friends, talking to
people.
It's the best. Talk to.
It's the best to see people. That cocktail hour beforehand is phenomenal. You're making friends. You're seeing people. It's fantastic.
You may have lost your job, that so and so now you get a chance to really ask them how it was.
Yeah. How was it without me?
Yeah.
How was it without me? How'd you do? No, it needs to be trimmed. It doesn't matter who hosts it. It doesn't matter. And the lifetime achievements and all the awards we give out are super important, and I'm all about it, but it needs to be trimmed down.
Yeah, they could use a Hall of Fame night.
Yeah, or pre-recorded. Because we all appreciate those things. Those are the people who inspired us. I see some of those films and I'm like, oh my God, is that guy in the room? Because this is bullshit. That guy inspired me, and this is crazy. But, like, my rubber chicken, it's cold. We already drank, the whole table already drank our 2 free bottles.
I know, the hangover is starting to set in.
I gotta hair of the dog. I gotta get a drink. So
roll the clip, let's get out of here.
I know. But it is a beautiful thing. It is a night out.
It's a great night.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna do. This is good. We will revisit another awards recap.
Yeah.
At the ADG Awards.
Let's predict what they're going to do.
I will come back from this poor, miserable loss of guessing and try to predict at least one more winner.
The ADGs are much harder. I find much harder to predict.
I think they're harder to get, too, to be honest.
Yeah. I've been nominated like 7 times. I don't have any.
I have not a one. No.
I have 4 Emmy nominees and I got 1. I got 7 ADGs. Nothing.
Nothing.
So, yeah. It's hard. Who? I just always say, you, my peers, you voted for that? Cool. Cheers. And then I throw my drink and I leave.
Yep. Basically, go to the bar. Yeah.
But it's a good time. I am so happy that, Kim, by the way, you emailed me. You emailed me about this, by the way. Genius.
What's that?
You emailed me about like doing a recap because we did so well on our ADG recap last year. I think that was actually the last time I had someone live.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny how it came up, too. I met some kid who was applying for an internship to the Television Academy, and he said he got like an hour to talk. And I honestly could have had more time. I don't know why they just said an hour. We should have just had him back like once a week. Nice guy. And he said, "Oh, I heard you on Decorating Pages podcast." And I was like, I was so drunk.
Oh my God.
But I was like, and he was like, "Yeah, you kind of were, but it was great."
But
and
we had
like,
cheese. We had really good cheese, and we had really good wine that night.
It did remind me of, like, it was a really, really fun time. So that's what I basically emailed you, like, that same afternoon or whatever, and I was like, let's do that again.
No, we had a really good time because I think you and I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
We're honest.
Yeah.
And we can flow through this. Like, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk a lot, which is what we've just done tonight. Yeah.
Yes. I think if you and I and Adam got together, that would be a hell of a podcast.
Except for this frame rate that we keep losing, and then we would be stepping all over each other.
No, it has to be like you guys have to come over and we'll sit in a triangle or something so that we could all be in the same room. But yeah, you were actually my last live person, and I've done everything else over Zoom, FaceTime, baby screaming in the middle of the day. So, yeah. No, I appreciate it. I thank you so much for even wanting to do this because...
Oh my God, count me in.
Thank you.
And too, ADG Awards. We're doing another awards recap.
Yes, maybe we recap. That's our thing. We recap.
I love it.
And if your friend can't do the show, I'm in.
Absolutely.
But no, this was fantastic. And you came up with the 5 things to watch, although I don't agree with your 5.
You reminded me, though. I mean, like, there's some really good ones.
You're not watching. You're talking about shit that's on now. You didn't even do your own rules. That was unfair.
Girl, it's still COVID, honey.
It's not COVID. People are back to work. It's almost October.
There's shit up my nose and I'm doing my own laundry. It's COVID.
Oh my God. Shit up my nose tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. I got a test.
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't that fun? Okay. You can tell by my laughter and my annoying voice how much I drank. But I had a good time. And just good to chat, to talk shit and like chat it up. Just talk, work. It was good. It was really fun. I hope you enjoyed that. Even though there are only 3 individuals nominated on the ballot, there is a team that gets it done. What I mean by that is the production designer is nominated, the set decorator, and the art director for the Emmys. And 3 people might, stand up on that stage, but it takes a huge team to get all of this work done. So thank you to everyone who worked so hard to make these beautiful sets and create these beautiful imaginary worlds that we work in. Thank you to them. Which is why it was so sad not to have an Emmy party this year, either with the SDSA or the Academy party, because you get to thank your team at those parties, and that's really a special part of it, because you want to acknowledge everybody's hard work. So congrats to all the teams that won, and to all the teams that were nominated. On my next episode, you'll hear director, AD, writer, Jeff Rosenberg. I worked with Rosie for a couple years on Veep and Good Place, and if you would like to prep for this episode, one of the films that he did called OJ the Musical, OJ the Musical, is on Prime. So he wrote and directed that, which I'm going to catch this weekend. I also have production designer and art departmental creator Rose Legace, and it's just fascinating talking with her and how she runs an insider social media account for all of us and how she's able to work doing all that. So that's the next 2 episodes. I hope you got an earful. I'm Kim Wanna for Decorating Pages. Summer's coming to an end, but that doesn't mean you can't float in style. Stogie Floaty Luxury Pool Float, available on Amazon, Etsy, and stogiefloaty.com.
Welcome to Pro Tips for the Pros, brought to you by Floor & Decor Bailey's Crossroads. In this series, we'll explore essential advice for professional contractors to deliver outstanding renovation results. Let's dive in. Prioritize quality craftsmanship and materials to deliver results that exceed the customer's expectations. Attention to detail and superior workmanship will leave a lasting impression and ensure customer satisfaction. Thank you for joining us for this pro tip on planning thorough renovations. Stay tuned for more expert advice brought to you by Floor & Decor Bailey's Crossroads.
A lot of people tolerate ordinary. Ordinary bathrooms, kitchens, entryways. Well, not on your watch. If you're a pro, you've got a new partner in town. Floor & Decor. From tile to wood to stone, Floor & Decor has more styles and job lot quantities of Schluter, Mapei, Laticrete, and other brands pros trust. Come see a whole new way to wow with Floor & Decor. Coming soon to Bailey's Crossroads.